Sebab terlampau banyak unit, then sewa and property values will drop slightly. Okay, normally it's not going to drop 50%, but then 20% is a normal, acceptable drop. Okay, and then after that, they mula absorb excess supply, lepas tu low vacancy, and then price begin to increase. Okay, this is typically how the buyer feels. Okay, every time we have a property punya ada upturn ataupun downturn. Now, do you want to make a wild guess where we are as of today? Who's feeling very euphoria as of today? I want to buy 10 property kat sini, ada tak? Huh? Right? Now, who thinks kita kat sini ke, kat atas ke, kat bawah? Huh? Bawah. Where do you think we are at the bottom? Panic, depression, hope, or fear? Panic, fear, panic, depression, or hope? Fear. I thought this is a harapan year. Cheng, cheng, cheng. Right? Now, do you want to know the answer? Huh? Okay, take out your phone. Okay, ambil gambar ni. Okay, upload it on your Facebook with this caption. Hello guys, morning. I'm here at the property talk dekat Enesta Kepong. Aku ingat nak beli 5 property tahun ni. Korang rasa dalam keadaan ekonomi hari ni okey ke tak okey? Ask your friends. Okay, I am betting lah, unless all your friends are property agents, no, they'll probably tell you not to do it lah, right? Because there's so much uncertainty. Okay, that's where I think what the market is feeling as of today. Okay, now, from a data point of view, the evidence is very clear, which is why I've been buying quite a fair bit of property in the last 12 months and should continue to buy quite a fair bit of property in the next 12 months too. And this is the data, the most important data in my opinion. Okay, now, what I want you to focus on is on the second column from your left. Okay, the second column on your left tu, bilangan volume tu refers to how many people buy property that year. Berapa orang beli rumah tahun tu, berapa banyak transaksi hartanah tahun tu. Okay, that's what the second left one says. If you notice guys, which is why I minta korang duduk depan so that you can see properly, right? The number of property transaction in 2017 has now reached at an 11-year low. The number of property transaction 2017 is lower than 2007. So for the last 11 years, this is the lowest. So, kalau kat sini, where do you think we are today? Because 2007 was right before global financial crisis. Right, so you got a economic depression. Okay, and our number now is lower than 2008, 2009. Okay, even me, a professional in this industry, I find this data to be quite astonishing. Okay, of course, kalau you dah beli banyak property and your property are not so great, you will tell me, Faizal, got one more level, bawah depression, suicidal, bunuh diri punya. Okay, now, but this is what the data is telling us, and again, data don't lie. Politicians can lie, property guru can lie, data cannot. Right? So the data is telling us, guys, that property transactions or sentiment towards property market has dropped to a 11-year low. Okay, data doesn't stop there. Right? So, okay, I love this poster, right? For two reasons. Number one here is that, do you know what story this is? Captain America Civil War, right? This is a 2016 Marvel punya movie, right? Very nice show, okay? Love it, right? First and foremost, this guy was able to predict it's going to be Tun versus Najib back in 2016. So that means whoever did this poster has got foresight, can see future. Betul tak? Also quite power lah. Because 2016 Tun is still in UMNO, you know. If you think about it, it's quite amazing. Okay, so you can see future. Second thing, you can also tell the one who did this poster is actually very, very free. You know, he got a lot of time because such a nice poster, you know. It doesn't feel like superimposed at all, right? So now we have voted, right? Right? It doesn't matter whose side are you on. You want to know what's the impact towards property market. So this talk is to basically uncover that, right? So if you look at the volume here, so what we did is that, again, you will only see it here. This data of property transactions, what happened during election year, past 3 elections. Yeah? Ada 2004, ada 2008 and 2013 when we had the last election. So if you look at it here, guys, in 2004, property transaction kat sini naik 18% that year during election year. 2008, okay, when Najib was sworn into power, property transaction went up by 8.6%. That's when you all still love him. Okay, 2013 you no longer love him, so property transaction dropped by 9.7%. So one election naik 18%, second election naik 8%, sorry, almost 8%, and third election jatuh by almost 10%. Very different result on the election year. So kenapa? We come to the conclusion that, okay, when there's no possibility of change of power, normally tahun election is a goodie year. So maksudnya dia bagi banyak gula-gula untuk incentivize people to buy property, boost the economy spending. Okay, so 2004, you know, Tun was retired, you know, and Tun Badawi is taking over, and you know, everyone liked Badawi. He seems very mild, you know, nice guy. So property transaction went up 18% that year. Crazy, right? Then Tun decided Badawi didn't really perform. He sleeps a lot and whatnot, and let's replace him with Najib. Okay, so you know, property transactions still went up because at that point of time the opposition is very weak. There's no hope of changing government. But 2013, right, there was a wind of change, right? Ada possibility change of power, not 2013. Yeah, it was very close, right? Right? So ini kalilah was the most popular hashtag, yeah, in Malaysia in 2013. Second most popular, ini karilah, you know, next to the gambar kari, you know, right? So property transaction dropped by almost 10% that year simply because if there's a possibility of change of government, would people want to take up a $500,000 loan or not to go buy property or commitment, knowing there are so many uncertainty? They won't, right? So there's a lot more fear. Now, did we not have an election this year? Sudah ke? Dah. Kau you guys tak tahu lagi ni? Dah kan? So did we change government or not this year? Now, based on the data for the past 3 elections, how do you think the property transaction this year will actually go up or go down? So, 2004, okay, tak ada change of power possibility. 2008 property transaction naik. 2013 ada possibility change of power, okay, property transaction drop. 2018 ada possibility change of power, dah change of power pun. What do you think is going to happen this year? Is the property transaction will go up ke go down? From the looks of it, from past 3 election, it will most likely go down. So we are already at the 11-year low. So can you imagine if it drops some more? So it will drop to potentially maybe a 14 or 15-year punya low. And to me, that's a big signal to buy. Okay, you are not going to make a lot of money when you follow what everyone is doing. Okay, 2012, 2013, I don't even know what to buy. Okay, simply because everything was too expensive and everyone wants to buy property. Ya, masuk taxi driver tell me property market good sir. Okay, pergi beli ikan, you know, uncle jual ikan pun property market very good. My cousin all make money from property. You better buy property, young man. Okay sir, right? So when everyone is telling you to buy, that's when you know you should stay away. When everyone is telling you, you know, maybe you should wait, right? So that's the time to buy now. Because the last time I heard so many people telling me to wait was 2008, 2009, and that's when I bought the most, right? So you gotta learn to be a contrarian if you want to make a lot of money from properties. Because that's when you are able to buy something at reasonable prices. Okay. So that's the data, and then we are talking about property values, right? Okay. Zaman Tun versus Zaman Najib. Okay. Here's some good news, guys. Okay. The good news here, if I were to summarize this chart, is that yang biru ni waktu zaman Tun jadi Prime Minister, merah tu zaman Najib. Okay. Now, kenaikan harga rumah zaman Tun is actually higher compared to zaman Najib. Okay. Zaman Tun, you can see a price increase of 25, 12, 18, 12. Then of course we had a recession. It also went dropped by about 10% and 2%. Zaman Tun. Zaman Najib is more slow and steady. Zaman Tun is basically fast and furious. Okay. So kalau zaman Najib, you are talking about maximum 11% in the last 5 years. It has moderately around 7 to 8% in the last 5 years. Okay. So again, this is data, and again data don't lie. Ya, zaman Tun harga rumah naik lagi banyak compared to zaman Najib. So the real question is kenapa? Why harga rumah zaman Tun naik lagi banyak pada zaman Najib? Is it because Tun is a better Prime Minister?
The confidence level.
Why? Better policy. Better policy, moderate house prices up. So better policy for who? Tun ke Najib? Tun. Now, I'm speculating, and this is not confirmed yet as the real data because we will only know 5 years from now. Betul ke tak data ni? But my point of view here is that the reason why kenaikan harga rumah naik banyak zaman Tun berbanding dengan zaman Najib is simply because the affordability of subsidized housing. The supply of subsidized housing waktu zaman Najib is actually far more compared to zaman Tun. Okay. Can one tell me what is the name of subsidized housing schemes available under zaman Najib? Prima lagi? Romawi lagi? PPA 1 Malaysia lagi? Rumah Selangorku and Rumah Penangku, so called equivalent, right? And SPNB ada buat lagi tak? Does SPNB does affordable housing? They do. It's just that many people don't know saja. So the reality is that zaman Tun tak banyak benda-benda macam ni. Okay, subsidized housing supply zaman Tun tak banyak. So because of that, people are forced to buy from private market. Okay, Najib did more. As far as housing is concerned, subsidized housing is concerned, I can say Najib did more. Now, the other insight that you probably want to know here is that because if you want to know how is the country is going to be run for the next 5 years, all you need to do is to look at how the opposition state has been run in the last 5 years. Do you have opposition states or not? Penang and Selangor, betul? Do you know the number of subsidized housing in Penang plus Selangor combined is lower compared to 1 KL and Putrajaya? Okay. In the whole of Penang and Selangor combined dua-dua subsidized housing, the 300,000 to 400,000 category, you combine those two states, is lower than 1 KL. Okay. So because of that, And if this trend seems to continue, because I don't think the opposition has got a good understanding in terms of why subsidized housing is so difficult to build, okay, then owners of private housing property as of today who have seen their property value stagnant in the last 2 or 3 years because of supply of subsidized housing coming up will smile. And siapa yang ada rumah banyak will smile. Because why? People are going to be forced to buy from private market again. Okay, now second thing, rumah WIP banyak tak? Actually not that many. In total supply is under 25,000. Compared to what KL really need, tak banyak lah. But relatively over 5 years, 25,000 is a reasonable amount of supply. Now, right now, isn't most developer who participated in rumah WIP is investigated? Ada tak? If you don't know, Aset Kaya Mas has been been asked to report lah certain of the land deals that have happened during the past government punya tenure. Okay, now I don't know whether there's any element of corruption. I'm not in the business of speculating, but I know one thing. Okay, once you investigate someone who tries to do subsidized housing, and assuming that that guy did not do anything wrong lah, not guilty lah, tak bersalah lah, do you think any private developer will participate in helping the current government to go build subsidized housing? Ada tak? Susah, you know. Because why? Ada possibility tukar government balik tak after 5 years? Of course ada. We've changed once. Now we are used to change, and now we're going to change every 5 years. No? Because no such thing as a good government one. Okay. If you notice, right? All people, the moment they become minister, their intelligence level drop by half. Notice or not? Every people smart before election, after become election, why you make such statement? Betul tak? Okay, and we are like, I thought you are smarter. But no, it's a curse of the job. The moment you become a minister, your intelligence level, you know. And of course it's media lah. Dia cakap 100 benda, this one nice headline, sure kena kecap dengan netizen. Let's use this one. You know, so that's how the media works. Of course, our perception here is that, you know, all our politicians and leaders become less smart the moment they officially become leaders. Okay, that's just the reality. But the repercussions of convicting players of rumah WIP, I think, will send a message to private developers that better not mix politics and business. Better do private housing proper. Okay. So, because of the conviction, whether Aset Canvas is guilty or not, again, is a different story. I'm just talking merely just conviction and investigating means. If I were a private developer today, I can make the same margin of 15%. I would rather put in private money, private development, no need to be investigated. Anytime there's a new change of government, you kena. No? Now, for all we know, again, I'm speculating lah. I don't know Jolo. There's no evidence right now whatsoever that says he actually took money lah. We are all speculating here, betul? So to me, I'm not the type of people who say this guy is guilty until there's solid proof to say that he's guilty lah. For all you know, he's just an honest businessman. Not for all you know lah. Right? Again, speculating. Don't know. So because of that, people will be discouraged to work with government. So number of subsidized housing, I expect in the next 5 years will go down. Go for various reasons. Yeah. So, lastly, you got SST now coming up. Okay. Our Finance Minister, Kuan Eng, YB, says harga rumah patut turun. So again, you know, these are example of ministers people who before election become smart, after election not so lah. You know, SST patut turunkan harga rumah. Now guys, let's be honest. Is SST a new tax or an old tax system? So guys, during SST, which is the blue line, did property value go up higher or did it went down? So if we implement an old system for the last 20 years that has continued to actually increase property values more, than it has during zaman GST. Because if you look at GST punya zaman here, it has actually dropped, from 9 to 7 to 6, and this year, first quarter, 4%. This year, first quarter, property price growth, only 4%. Right? So SST, guys, not going to reduce property price. Because what they exempt is only cement and steel prices, which basically contributes to only 25 to 30% of the development cost. The balance of it, the other 75, all went up because of SST. Does that make sense to you? The property value will go down if 75% of your costs go up and 25% of your cost goes down? It doesn't make sense to me. Mathematically, it doesn't work lah. Okay. And again, I was speaking to a bunch of developers, I'm friends with the industry, and I just get their take, and they are telling me, wow, this new government is semua geling kepala, especially property developers, for two reasons. Number one, they are chasing away foreign workers. So cost of labor has actually gone up dramatically, 20 by 30%, just in the last 3 months. Our ringgit has dropped or gone up? Drop, right? So cement and steel, okay, we don't have to import, fine. The rest of it we import from China. So when your ringgit drop, your cost goes up or goes down? Cost goes up. So one thing to make statement, the other thing is to really understand, because I really want to believe property value will go down so that I can buy some more. But I'm not seeing it. I don't see how it can happen, because it doesn't make sense. Got it? Yeah. So if you look at it here, SST, not really a new system, it's an old system, and during SST, property values actually went up faster and higher, compared to GST. So again, the tax system has got very little to do with it. The supply of subsidized housing will determine the growth of property values. If terlampau banyak supply, property value punya growth will slow. If there's lack of supply, people are forced to buy from private market every time, property value punya growth will actually go up higher. So that's the simple truth lah. Right? Now, this one, very important. Okay. Buying property doesn't mean you'll make money every time. Okay? And you especially will not make money when you purchase the property at the wrong price. How do you know what is the right price and what is the wrong price? You must understand income first. Okay? Does it make sense if your income is 5,000, you pay installment 6,000? Does it make sense? No, it doesn't. Okay? It won't make sense mathematically, it doesn't make sense. Okay? So, if you are buying in Selangor, you have to understand, household average income in Selangor is 9,200. This is as per 2016. Okay? Average property values in Selangor is 450,000. If you are buying in KL, household income is about 12,000 per month now. Okay, and average property value is almost 800,000 or 794,000. So when you want to buy a property in KL, you pay above 794 or you pay below? Below. Right? Because on average, people are paying 794. If you play below average, are you safe or not? Quite lah. Quite safe. Because there are many other people who pay a lot more than you. These people die first before you die in the event of an economic downturn. Make sense? People who pay more die first, what? Because they've got higher commitment and they bought the property not at the right price. Of course, as a caveat here, Selangor number is quite skewed simply because Selangor is big. For every glam area like Mutiara Damansara, Glam Mary or Bukit Jelutong, there's also not so glam area like Bukit Tak Beruntung. Lembah Beringin, Sekinchan. I mean, no offense, it's just that property value in those areas are worlds apart compared to Mutiara, Damansara. Yeah, worlds apart. Okay, because the most expensive address in Selangor normally can match the most expensive address in KL. What's the most expensive address in Selangor, guys? Not Kota Kemuning, not Bukit Jelutong, not Country Heights. And Country Heights, I think KL. Petaling Jaya besar. Desa Park City is KL. Come on guys, siapa dapat teka ada hadiah.
Subang Jaya.
Subang Jaya, salah. Ara Damansara, no, not the Nailam juga. Okay, enough guessing. The clue here is color kuning. Dia jual karipap. IKEA/Mutiara Damansara. Are you aware the most expensive double story house intermediate, bukan corner, 20 by 70, intermediate saja dekat Mutiara Damansara in 2015 transacted 2.4 million. Double story house, not semi-D, not bungalow, double story house, intermediate, not even corner, not even end lot, intermediate, 2.4 million. Huh? Mutiara Damansara Selangor. Border dah dekat dah, seberang tu TTDI. Right? So is it cheaper than the properties in Bangsa? Not really. Right? Because Bangsa is the most premium address right now in KL. Okay? So the most expensive address in Selangor can fight KL. Tapi of course, the worst address in KL is still far away compared to the worst address in Selangor. Sebab Selangor besar. 2.5 hours away. Okay? So understand income, understand median property price point, understand that in KL people are willing to pay 1/3 of their salary on mortgage installment. 30%, 29.8%. Okay? So very important data to make sure you guys don't overpay. Then Malaysia average property appreciation is how much, guys? What's the magic number? 6.5. Now this is the second and third magic number you kena ingat. Average property appreciation for Selangor in the last 16 years is 9%. And the average property appreciation in KL in the last 16 years, 2000 sampai 2016, is 12%. Okay. This is again average. If you make this average only, nothing special. If you make 12% a year in the last 16 years, you are not special. You are average. You make more, great. Then you do above average. You have something. You got skills here. Yeah. So remember this number. But if you look at this chart, guys, now does it go up by 12% every year? So you can see here, if you invested in 2000, the property price growth is very normal, 3, 4, 5% only, in the first 9 to 10 years. But you had a property bull run. Okay, now here's the other insight. Every 20 years, you get one property bull run, whereby everything doubles over 3 to 4 years. Every 20 years. Right? From year 2000 until 2020, I can say with 99% certainty as of today, the property bull run we had was 2010 to 2014. Okay? Year 1980 until year 2000, it was 1991 all the way to 1996. Okay? When is the next one happening? I have no idea. And again, we're not a business of trying to guess or trying to make it as predictable as possible. But if you buy a property and you keep it for 20 years, you will guarantee be lucky at this one time. Predictable. And historically, it has shown to be the case. Yeah? So, what to look for next? I think 2018 is an excellent year to buy property. Okay? Simply for a very simple reason. Okay? I've been investing since 2005, I guess. 13 tahun. You know? I feel very old saying it. And I know it must be shocking for some of you. Because I look like I'm 32, right? Yeah? Shock sendiri lah. Since you guys don't puji me, aku puji sendiri lah. Right? Now, so I've been doing this for 13 years. You know, I'm 37 next month. Right? Alhamdulillah. I'm very blessed. But I've seen this year what I've never seen in the last 13 years. Do you want to know what is that? Oh, dua orang je nak tahu. Okay lah, UPM je lah. Yang lain tak nak tahu kan? Don't want to know, right? Yes. Want to know what? Okay, siapa nak tahu? Okay, now. For the first time in the last 13 years, this year, I see you can actually buy new property at the price either the same or even cheaper than the old property within the same area. For the first time in the last 13 years, you are able to buy a new property at a price either the same or cheaper than the older property in the same area. Guys, if you are given the opportunity to buy a 5-year-old BMW and a brand new BMW, both for 500,000, sorry, both for 200,000, which one would you buy? New, right? It's a no-brainer. Okay, so this year is a time, because of all the data, don't you feel developers and property sellers are a little bit more desperate today? So when they're desperate, do you get a better deal? Absolutely. Right? So, take advantage. Look see. Now, if you look at it today, the price of subsale, number one, the cost to buy a subsale property is high. Down payment 10%, legal fee 5%, someone need to renovate, furnish. You need roughly 20% cash. But if you can buy a new property for the same price as per the old property, it really doesn't make sense anymore to buy old property. Which is why everything that I bought in the last 18 months, and most likely in the next 12 months, is going to be 100% new property from developer. Or completed property tapi still from developer. So rumah dah siap tapi developer tak habis jual. Okay, so look at such opportunities as of today. Like I said lah, when I was investing 5-6 years ago, if I see a brand new property selling for 700,000, you can see the old property nearby going for 400,000. Right? So okay lah. Kalau you prefer new, you pay 700,000. You buy old, you pay 400,000. Makes sense, right? Today, not much difference anymore. And what I see, if the premium, the new property is not too expensive, so that means it's under 30% more expensive compared to the subsale, you always buy new. Yeah, because in Bangsa South, in Mont Kiara, the new property versus old, the price per square foot difference can be as high as 50 to 80%. Are you guys familiar with Bangsa South? Okay, dulu Kerinci. There's this condo called Pantai Panorama. Right? Pantai Panorama is a freehold condo, 20-year-old, very well maintained by YTL. Right? It's going for 650,000 today for a 3-bedroom. Park residence just across the street. Okay? If you go to the highest floor, Pantai Panorama, you jump down for suicide, you will die in the new condo. Okay? That's how near it is. Okay? Now, I'm not saying go ahead and do it lah, but giving you an example how near it is lah. Okay? Now, seberang jalan je, this park residence, leasehold lah, Panorama freehold lah. Leasehold, tapi sebab dia baru, selling for 1.2 million. It's double. So freehold 20-year-old is 600,000, leasehold baru less than 5 years old 1.2 million, transacted property price 1.5 pun ada orang beli. So Malaysian preference towards new property is very high. So in the sub-sale you will see the premium is actually quite significant. That's why if you can buy roughly about the same 10-20% premium, you always buy new. Because that's what I'm doing as of today. Okay. Now I buy a lot of high rise. So these are basically my guide kalau you tak nak tersalah beli. Remember the median price point just now? Yeah, of state berapa for KL? 794,000, betul? For Selangor how much? 450. Once you dah tahu tengah-tengah tu, you try not to pay way above, but below is better. Understand? Okay, now that one is point number one. Point number two, then you follow these tips, especially when you buy high rise. The most important 3 tips out of this, if I were to highlight to you, number one is that retail component, commercial availability. Lagi dekat dengan commercial lagi bagus, because people are willing to pay 2,000 to rent a 3-bedroom condo with facilities, but people will pay 1,500 to rent a double-story house with 4 bilik. Number one, the condo is newer, betul? So tenant suka benda baru kan, right? Number two, because of securities and facilities and convenience, people are willing to pay more in terms of rental. So this is a fact, guys. Point number one. Point number two, public transportation. Okay, every single high-rise that we have bought either nearby a LRT station ataupun MRT station. From year 2016 onwards, there is nothing that we have bought under my personal capacity or my clients that does not have LRT or MRT story. Okay, because if you are nearby LRT, MRT, you have a much wider pool of tenants. I can target students, I can target working people, I can also target family. I can also target retirees. Right? Can I rent by room or not? Can I rent by head or not? Can I rent long term or not? Can I rent short term or not? You see my rental options, so many. Multiple type of tenants, long term, short term, medium term, daily, Airbnb, hourly, please don't lah. You get different problem lah. Banyak dosa juga lah. Right? Yeah, but you've got multiple rental option. Will you die or not? If this one doesn't work, you try this. This one doesn't work, you try this. You have multiple options. So because of that, buying nearby public transportation at the right price, you're not gonna die buying it. You're gonna be okay. Right? So, multiple rental option, public transportation, commercial. 3 benda ni once you have, normally your high rise okay. The rest of it pretty self-explanatory. Right? So there's 3 case studies, but I think we don't have the time to share all 3. Right? So I'm gonna share one. Okay? This one is Miss A, the first one. Okay? And this is typical for a lot of our Gen Y first time home buyers. Okay? So this is how she is. Okay? And maybe it can become some inspiration for some of you. She has got a car loan of 1,400 per month. Okay? Housing loan don't have because she's renting for 2,000 per month as of today. Right? She's got a personal loan of 500. Okay? Credit card, she has racked up a debt of 20,000, so minimum payment is 1,000 per month. So her monthly commitment every month just to bayar hutang, kereta, personal loan, credit card and rental is 4,009. Okay, came to see us for one-on-one. So I forced her to buy a property. Okay, now what happened here is that she bought one property with cashback. because this one is something that you can do today. Buy good properties, and the good property actually give you cash on. Okay, so when you buy a property, you can also unlock EPF account too. So can you buy property with 1,000 down payment or not? Can, because your discount is 10%. Kalau you try, you dapat lagi banyak, betul? Right? So you pay 1,000, buy a property, then you can withdraw up to 10% of the property value from your EPF account. So duit tu yang stuck kat EPF tu now becomes your money. 50,000 goes to your hand. On top of that, dapat duit cashback. So what she did is that she's got 90,000 now from cashback and EPF. Dia guna untuk settle kereta, settlekan dia punya credit card loan. Right? And she's single. Okay. So does she need a 3-bedroom condo or not? She doesn't. She only needs to stay in 1 bedroom, and she can rent out the other 2. So installment 2004, betul. But because she rents out the other 2 room, she gets 1,005. So her commitment went from 4,009 per month to now 1,004. And she went from a penyewa to now become a property owner. She went from tak boleh savings today to now can save almost 3,000 per month. Not bad, right? Okay, so this is what I call financial engineering. You know a little bit more, not the 1MDB financial engineering. This one real good financial engineering for you, right? So you know a little bit more. This is something that is not too difficult for you to do, right? And today, because times are not so great, for the property sellers, so be it private owners or property developers, the discount is greater, the money is better, and you get to buy safe property with decent cashback. Okay, so it's one idea that you can look at. Just caution and reminders. Of course, cashback, there are plenty of development that give you cashback. You just have to be aware. Again, remember the median price point. Okay, hati-hati, jangan bayar terlampau mahal, far more than the median price point. You pay way above more, you're not going to be able to make money. You ambil cashback pun tak guna. I'm talking about buying decent properties here. All below 600,000, those are okay. Yeah. Lastly, these are properties. My guide to you, if you are going to buy property nearby LRT, MRT, try not to pay above 600,000. Okay? Just because ada LRT atau MRT, don't pay above 600,000. Absolute price point untuk rumah 2 atau 3 bilik. Number 2, never pay above 600 ringgit per square foot. Okay? Just because ada LRT ataupun MRT. Anything below is fine to consider. Right? Now, FYI, in the event you guys don't know or not aware why we love LRT or MRT so much, is because rental for property fully furnished nearby LRT ataupun MRT, you pergilah mana-mana pun dekat the whole of Klang Valley today, all the way to Putra Heights, 3 bilik fully furnished, you cannot rent below 2002. Doesn't exist from a supply point of view. This is not per head. This is one whole unit. Rental per head, even better. Yeah, a master bedroom in Sri Maya, is asking for 1,500 ringgit per month. One room, not one unit, one room. Just because it's nearby LRT, and LRT takes you to KLCC. Right? So try not to break this rule. If you don't break this rule, very likely 99% of the time, whatever you buy, you're going to be okay. Understand? Yeah. This is golden rule, 13 years. This is guideline as of today. You can cross check this if you want. Yeah. Now, these are just to highlight to you impact of property along MRT lah. This is MRT 1. Okay. Because people say, "Wow, Faizul, looks like your strategy only buy nearby MRT. Anything near MRT is good." No, I didn't say that. I give you guideline, right? Below 600 per square foot, 600,000, right? And people seem to think buying nearby MRT is such a simple thing. Actually, it's not. I make it simple for you guys, right? You don't break this rule, you're okay. You break this rule, there's a chance you're not going to be okay. But again, it's a chance. Now, these are all property right now in Kota Damansara leading towards Sungai Buloh MRT 1. Okay? Because we have only MRT 1 operational, right? So you got MRT 2 being built, MRT 3 deferred, maybe will come in, maybe will not, we don't know, But once the crony is identified, MRT 3 will appear, right? So it's like when the student is ready, the master will appear. So similar like MRT 3, right? This is Malaysia. I believe in Malaysia. Now, residence condo studio today is asking for 1.4 to 1.6. Prior to MRT, 1,000. Okay. A 2-3 bedroom is asking for 2001 to 2007. Yeah, depending on the condition and the furnishing of the unit. Prior to MRT being completed, nak dapat 1,008 pun susah. Okay. So it's the same story all the way to MCOP, all the way to Cascades, and then Glomax Centro. Dulu Glomax Centro dekat TTDI tu is I think bawah 1,000, 2,000 pun boleh dapat sewa. Today you try to get below 2,005, cannot. Okay. So this is the power of MRT. Because why? Once you have LRT ataupun MRT, do people need to drive or not to go to work? Okay, people can save 1,000 a month by not driving. Car installment, parking, petrol, road tax, insurance. 1,000 per month. That's why they can pay double the room rental or the house rental just because it's nearby LRT ataupun MRT. So again guys, these are facts. I'm not speculating. This is something that I've done for the last 5 years, right? So there's nothing new here for me, but I hope in today's learning, okay, you learn something new about property nearby LRT, MRT. Yeah. Now, lastly, if you play this game long enough, over 20 years, a 30% return annually is more or less easy peasy. Okay, this is a property portfolio of 5 properties. 5 biji property lah, all $500,000, all nearby LRT, MRT, sewa initially boleh dapat 22, eventually MRT siap boleh pergi 25, 26. Okay, this is what will happen if you stick around long enough. First 5 years, you only make 600,000 net worth. Cash flow baru 1,000. Initially negative cash flow. But after 20 years, if you can fully pay off the property after 20 years, you are looking at a 20,000 income per month from rental and a 3 million net worth. And this projection is based on a price increase of 3% per annum. My projection here is 3% per annum. What is the average property price growth for Malaysia for 36 years? 6.5. What was KL number in the last 16 years? 12. What was Selangor number? 9. How much is the one I'm using here? 3. So am I being aggressive or extremely conservative? Guys, dalam tangan. You just have to hold for 20 years. Got it? Right? This game, extremely predictable when you play long term. You play short term, you can lose money. Okay? So final thoughts, summary. So some of you maybe it's the first time attending property talk, got excited. Okay? It's good to be excited, but I think the learning must continue. After 13 years of investing or 15 years of learning about property market, I am still learning something new every day. So I think the ability to forever learning will give you a big advantage. Okay? Number 2, never overpay and understand what is median value. So today you've seen what's the median value for KL and Selangor, right? So don't overpay. Number 3, I've shown you enough proof why 2018 is a little bit more special. Not because it has got number 8 behind it. Right? It's got nothing to do with that. But from a transaction point of view, I think the trend is very clear. People are not buying. Sellers are desperate. These are the best times to get a deal. Okay? Then, buy property that can fulfill all the 3 golden rule. You know? SAF. Can you guess or not what SAF means? Huh? Smart as Faizul? No. Because I'm not smart. SAF is safe as toot. Because F is a vulgar word. Right? Safest. So the property that will be the safest for you to buy today is property that can fulfill 3 criteria. First one, you don't overpay. And that means when you sell, you are able to sell not at a loss, at least. If you are forced to sell, right, you don't overpay. That's why the median values is so important. Number 2, if you don't stay there, you can rent it out not at a major loss. From a rental point of view. Negative cash flow, few hundred ringgit, it's okay. Under 500 ringgit, to me, it's okay. Right? You won't die lah. The third one is that you are okay to stay there. So that means can sell, can rent, and can stay. You buy property that can fulfill all 3, you are okay. Yeah? So 3 SAF, right? Then always buy new unless the premium is above 30%. So that means if the new property costs 20% more than the older property nearby, you buy new. Okay? Because historically, multiple areas you've seen enough evidence that says if you buy new when your premium is not as high, normally you tend to benefit a lot. And then lastly, buy something that give you multiple rental options, A, B, C. Yeah, don't have to only rent to one. You know, you buy student accommodation, you can only rent to student. Then college move out, you die. Understand? So you want to have multiple rental option, play. Okay. Now, for those who wants to continue to learn and have not followed my Facebook, you can do so. My Facebook is called Faizul Rizwan, right? So he's the Bangladesh looking guy who will not look out of place next to a construction site. You know, if I wear pagoda t-shirt and seluar pendek, you know, all the Bangla, yane, makan, you know. I've developed these 26 criteria that I use, right? And I've covered some of it today. If you want to hear the full criteria, go to the link, go and have a look, it's free, right? So before I take it down, yeah? So go to it, have a look at it, try to understand it. Okay, my 26 criteria. These are my guiding principles that I developed over 13 years of investing, buying over 400 million property for myself and my clients. Right? And you know, for those who wants to learn about the property market, but English-wise not very good, can go to Gilar Tanah. It's completely for free. Yeah? Thank you. Did you guys learn anything new or not today? Yes. Right? Thank you, you're very kind. So I'm not sure if I have time for Q&A or not. I can, yeah? So I'll take 3 questions. Just FYI, for you to meet me for 101, it costs you 380 ringgit per hour. So because this session is already sponsored by the developer, so I'm opening 3 questions that you can ask for free. Right? So, anyone have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Jackson, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Chef
Yep.
Faizul.
Yeah.
To share your things. Okay. Recently, we know that there's a lot of developers. They are having some projects which is mixed with the rumah mampu milik and those private unit. So, is there any mechanism that or a system that value the property price differently or what for further in future?
Okay, so the question here by Jackson, I think it's a fantastic question here, is that basically is the impact if you buy private housing next to rumah WIP lah,
Yes.
or subsidized housing, right? Is there any impact? Now, here's the catch-22. In order for you to buy thing at reasonably price point, there must be a trade-off. So the trade-off is that your neighbor gets to buy cheaper. But your neighbor also, at the same time, they're not supposed to sell for the next 10 years. And to me, that's good. Not the biggest advantage, in my opinion, of buying nearby rumah WIP or rumah Selangorku is that you don't have a competition for the next 10 years. To sell, confirm you cannot. Number two, to rent, you're not supposed to, but you've seen some people doing it illegally. Now, we have a new government today. Is the new government should have better enforcement or lack enforcement? Better enforcement. Now guys, do you want to get even greater enforcement? Complain this week, 3 days later, sure they come and act? One or not? One of them three or not? So if you are buying next to a rumah WIP and you discover someone advertising rumah WIP for rent, viral kan kat Facebook. Anything viral, the minister have to answer. Celaka, ini kapitalis jahat ni, rumah mampu milik mereka gunakan untuk sewakan untuk jadi kaya. Agak-agak authority will take action. They don't want to take action, now have to go and take action. Viral already, must see is doing some work. Right? So that's how Malaysia has been operating for the last 3 years. I expect the new government should have better enforcement. Okay, now, is it going to be 100% enforcement when it comes to rent? I don't know yet. Right now, not seeing it. But as far as selling is concerned, you got no competition. So point number one. Point number two, I think for most of it, if I recall, I have not seen any development which is next to subsidized housing, or by subsidized housing and the development you buy privately, the facilities are the same. So far, I have not seen it. Because why a 300,000 property size-wise is smaller, facility-wise is lesser compared to the one you pay for 400,000, half a million. And to me, the breaking point for this is that make sure you don't pay above 550,000. Understand? So that means if you got rumah WIP or rumah Selangorku next door and then your property cost 700,000, don't touch it. But 400, 500,000, I think is fine. It's still okay. Yeah? That's my point of view. As of today, for example, there's not many rumah WIP that has been completed, right? And it's very we don't have enough data yet to go and say is it going to be impacted or not. But as of today, the one which is completed, which is Pandan Mas, so far have got very limited impact towards the property nearby from a rental or subsale point of view. It has not gone down so far. Right? I don't know what's going to happen. Now that, I said Kayamas is being investigated and most of the, all these DBKL rumah WIP deals are being investigated, there's even going to be more scrutiny. So that's my point of view as of today. Right? So the answer is that as long as you play within a certain price point, you're okay. If you pay above a certain price point, then cannot. See, for example, right? Rumah PPA. Rumah PPA is even cheaper than rumah WIP. Right? 180,000, 260,000, and you have neighbors in Bukit Jalil buying 800,000, and you got neighbor buying at 260,000. No, so for me, like I said, as long as you play in the right price point, you're okay.
So that means they still have a system that's saying that okay, next time maybe after 10 years, they want to sell this, let's say rumah WIP. The valuation is different from the private one, right?
By right, yes.
By right.
As of today, there's no cap yet, right? If there's one advice I would give to the government as of today, right, is that we must cap the selling price of rumah WIP and rumah Selangorku or any form of subsidized housing, because they were already subsidized when they bought. They shouldn't be competing with private markets. That's my personal point of view. Whether the government takes it or not is a completely different matter. I hope that answers your question. Yeah? So I'll take 2 more questions if anyone will catch up with me. Sekejap, bagi chance kat orang lain dulu kalau ada. Kalau tak ada, you get it. Anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think I'm Wang.
Hi, Wang.
Yeah. Recently, I see some condos and they prohibiting the landlord to rent out as short-term rental. What is your point of view?
Well, whether the condo allows or don't allow short-term rental is the decision of the GMC or the GMB. They decide. So, if I were to summarize it in this way, if there are many people buy the property for own stay, very likely Airbnb short-term rental would not be allowed because there's security concerns. For me, where I stay, I don't want Airbnb to happen. Okay? But if the condo is majority investor based, your KLCC, your Bukit Bintang place and whatnot, it's very hard to see, Airbnb will be banned, especially on the smaller units. Yeah. So it's really up to the GMB ataupun GMC. So of course, that's why, for example, certain groups like mine, buying as a group, investor group makes sense because if you buy 60 units, it's not difficult to secure the GMC or GMB, push the GMC, GMB to the direction that is more favorable to the investor. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Third one. It's okay, I open fourth question for you. But
Okay, my name is Shukri from Serdang.
Jauh datang ni.
Ah.
Oh wow. Nah, that's dedication, man.
Boleh cakap Melayu kan?
Boleh.
Saya ada pengalaman.
Yeah.
Jadi ada satu developer dia ada tawarkan rumah high rise.
Okay.
Harga untuk market value dia dan S&P tu dia kata 540,000 macam itulah. And then booking saya bayar 1,000. Kemudian dia tawar saya dapat cash flow lah, cashback 70k. Tapi bila saya dah bank dah lulus offer loan, tapi dia tukar pula, dia kata mungkin dapat dalam 80% loan macam tu lah.
Okay.
So patut ke saya teruskan ataupun, tapi sebab dia kawasan tu jauh daripada MRT semua lah.
Harga per square foot berapa?
Per square feet tak square feet 1,100, tapi harga dia dalam 500 ringgit per square feet lah.
So, you ada nak beli property RM500 per square foot tanpa LRT ataupun MRT. Question I ask you today, can you find a property yang ada LRT ataupun MRT you can buy at RM500 per square foot all the world? Boleh tak cari?
Boleh.
Sebab the answer is boleh. So between buying that versus buying a property yang ada LRT MRT at RM500 per square foot or even cheaper, which I think makes a lot more sense. Sebab the rental bila ada LRT dengan MRT ni is very different compared to bila tak ada. And of course the tenant pool lagi banyak. Right? If you buy kat Serdang tanpa LRT atau MRT, majority orang duduk sana is only going to be people from Serdang. Make sense? Yang suka duduk kat sana for whatever reason. Not plenty. But if I beli dekat Serdang and sebelah ada LRT ataupun MRT station, anyone that works in KL can be my tenant. Make sense? Sebab tu I will strongly suggest, although it's not my job today to suggest you go do anything, that to look at property yang ada LRT MRT, especially kalau price point dah sama dah pun. Because today you've got the opportunity. 5 years ago tak ada. Anything ada MRT 700 per square foot. Today you can buy 400, 500 per square foot. Okay. Did you learn anything from that question?
Yes.
Awesome question. Yeah. Last one. Yes.
Sorry, I injured Faisal.
No problem. Tak apa, you boleh duduk Jackson. No problem.
Actually, I'm your fans, but
Oh.
I'm not your student yet.
Okay.
But very happy to know that you are coming to Keppel.
Okay.
That's why I prepare some questions.
Sure.
To ask. Okay. To enhance Mr. Wong that question, actually is like that.
You friend is it?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Commercial title
Okay.
and HDA title.
Okay.
So, is it in future government will enforce the rules saying that if you are not, the property is not under commercial title, you cannot do Airbnb for that.
Don't know. The
Don't know.
answer to that, don't know.
So that means currently they still didn't have a very clear cut rules or regulations saying that whatever property you bought, okay, you can do Airbnb or you can rent it out or whatever.
So far, there's no indication or directive from the government to say I'm gonna ban Airbnb. Okay, so far tak ada. Now, is there any interest for the government to say you can or you cannot do Airbnb? Is there any benefit to the government to say you can or you cannot do Airbnb? Okay, as of today, the answer is no. I ban, you could get upset. I don't ban, some people will also get upset. So I better not say anything, right? If you are the minister. Now, the only incentive for the government, or as far as Airbnb is concerned, is that to register all the owners who are renting their unit under Airbnb so that they pay income tax on the profit. That's the only incentive. So as far as regulation is concerned, I foresee eventually Malaysia or Singapore and more developed countries, what's going to happen is that all the owners and operators who operate on Airbnb must register themselves on the pretext of security. Yeah, it's like a hotel operator lah. Boleh tak buka hotel suka-suka? Tak boleh kan? Right, you must maintain some form of safety lah. Actually no lah, they just want you to pay more tax lah. So because of that, eventually they will regulate. Will they block it? I don't think so, unless there's some serious incident somewhere that says perempuan kena colek and kena, you know, some bad stuff happens. So until then, no. For example, to look at this, you just have to look at Uber. Why did Uber in India was banned? Correct. Ladies go into some stranger's car and then get raped, and because of that, you don't know whether it's a real story or is it planted by the taxi guys. We don't know lah. You know, all these things can be done on. But because of the uproar, Uber was banned. Okay. So as far as if there's nothing bad happens, you know, to Airbnb punya cases, then all is good lah. And then you can expect regulation to come in the form of you must register on the pretext of maintaining some level of standard and safety, but actually they want to tax you. Yeah, because there's some Airbnb operators, rental normally 1,000 to Airbnb can get 3,000. Right, so it can be quite lucrative if you buy the right property at the right price, and you know you put it at the right target segment. Okay? So that's my take on it lah. Right now, I cannot really predict what the government is gonna do, and right now a lot of things the government do, I cannot explain by my logical mind. So the only thing I can say is that to know how the government is going to think, you have to think like a politician. So they will do what's popular. Alright? Not what's right, but what's popular.
Okay, thank you. Then can I have some?
Sure. One more last one. After this you have to pay.
Okay. From whatever you show, okay,
Yep.
is your record. Then as far as we know that the rental income, I mean the rental return, okay, also very depends on a building management. So no denying how we can, I mean to ensure the building management is doing their good job, so that we can have a good rental income on that. I think is the first or second slide.
Going there. See, I talk a lot, that's why we have to go back all the way.
Because as far I know that even you bought a property, if the JMB or the building management is not doing good, not doing well, you cannot, if your maybe your rent you cannot increase every
Understand.
5 years.
Right. So the question here is that, what if JMP or building management is not so good? What's going to happen to the rental value? Right? Now, out of these 5 properties that I show, I can tell you the only one which I think building maintenance is good is actually Summer Suites and Harta Mas BMC. Right? Titiwangsa Central and Palazzo, building management quite sucks one. And most of the time, I prefer to buy from developer which the management track record is not great one. Because normally these are developers that are available at a discount. So discount means I can make money. See, if I want to buy great building management, I just buy from the top 5 developer, can. But the problem here is that what I discovered is that the opportunity, or at least in the last 5 years, when you buy from top 5 developer, you are more likely to lose money than you make money. You know, because for the same bag, Prada sells for 5,000, what Guess sells for 500 ringgit. Not to say the quality is 10 times better, it's not. Quality is sometimes 50% better, but they sell to you at 3 times more the price. So I'd rather take my chance on a property that from a median price point of view makes sense. Because there's no such thing as a perfect property. This one, maintenance is fantastic. How much am I paying for maintenance? Fantastic maintenance, everyone? 750 ringgit per month. So, anything good, need money or not? Of course, goes without saying. This one, maintenance, so-so. Things are falling apart. But rental, until now, it didn't drop because of maintenance, it dropped because of the market supply has actually gone up. Right? So, it's dropping by 10%. It used to be 2008, 2009, now it's about 2005 to 2007. I'm still extremely cash flow positive, just lesser by 200 or 300 ringgit. Right? So idea here is that as long as you buy the right property, you are normally okay first. Number 2 is that after 1 or 2 years, GMC or GMB will be transferred back to the resident. That is our control to enforce certain things. What you don't want is to buy a property whereby people don't pay maintenance fee. That's when you can buy from the best developer also, but if people don't pay, there's no money to hire security, to trim the gardens, to clean the pool. You need money for all of it. Where got people for love one, right? No such thing. Yeah, so as long as people have the discipline to go and pay maintenance fee, then people are okay. So you're gonna have money. And to hire the best security, the best maintenance, and whatnot. The other thing I also have to highlight to you, the more expensive the maintenance fee are, normally above 50 cents onwards, the lower the capital appreciation of the property. Lagi mahal maintenance fee every month, lagi kurang capital appreciation. So you honestly do not want the best. You know, one of my mentors stays in Hijauan Kiara, in Mont Kiara. Okay, unit size are all 1,500 to about 3,000 square foot lah. You know, Bukit Kiara properties, the Tong family, NK Tong, Alan Tong, the whole stay there. They took one floor, 5 families. So, security is excellent, maintenance is excellent. But all of that come with a price. If I recall correctly, it's 60 cents or 70 cents per square foot. So maintenance fee per unit, nothing less than 1,000 per month. Only 300 units. So you pay through your nose on maintenance. Right? Until today, Hijauan is one of the worst performing newly completed properties in Mont Kiara. Despite having the VIP neighbours, excellent maintenance. Wah, dia punya ni kalau tercabut sikit they replace whole thing brand new. Signboard wah, I don't like the font, tukar. Really they've got that kind of money. Right? But property value did not go up because maintenance fee is just too expensive. So 25 to about 35 cents is fairly reasonable, really depends on the facilities. Small unit, people are okay to pay more. Studio 40 cents per square foot, 50 cents per square foot. It's quite common because it's small. So one more question for you.
This one will help.
Hang on, he has got a question. Come, tanya je.
Saya nak tanya, kalau macam untuk first time, untuk rumah pertama, macam kita tengok daripada data tadi, yang Encik Fazil cakap, dan rumah subsidi ni bila kerajaan baru ni bawah Tun, dia akan dikurangkan.
Bukan cakap akan, ini trend
Ya.
waktu Tun jadi Prime Minister keempat, yang kita tengok trend daripada zaman orang cakap Pening dengan Selangor. So kita tak cakap akan dikurangkan, kita tengok trend lepas.
Based on trend tu dia akan menurun lah.
Nanti nampak yang macam fitnah pula kerajaan baru ni. Kita kena tangkap dia pasal-pasal. Hashtag Save Faizul.
So dia akan menurun, betul. Kita based on trend. Apa tindakan kita betul tak kalau kita ambil untuk rumah subsidi ni? Kalau macam untuk rumah pertama, kita tahu yang kita tak.
Untuk homestay, answer dia yes. Untuk investment, answer dia no. Sebab untuk investment, you kena ada flexibility, boleh jual dan boleh sewa. You beli rumah subsidi, you tak boleh sewa, and you tak boleh jual. Okay, so untuk duduk, no problem. Kalau duduk saja, confirm you nak duduk 10 tahun. But kalau you want the flexibility of duduk sekejap, lepas tu nak sewakan dan pindah ke tempat lain, nak kerja kat Abu Dhabi, gaji mahal, then you want to buy a non-rumah WIP. So you only buy rumah WIP kalau confirm yang nak duduk 10 tahun. Then it's the best property you can buy. But you want flexibility of boleh sewa, boleh jual, and boleh pindah tempat lain, you don't want to buy rumah WIP. Sebab it's not rumah pelaburan. It's not a category pelaburan.
Okay, so kalau macam kita sebagai employee, kita tengok harga market sekarang around 500k kan. So kalau macam untuk kita beli tiap-tiap tahun tu mustahil. So better kita ambil sub-sale or yang baru. Because kalau yang baru punya completion date dia maybe 3 tahun. So dalam 3 tahun kita tak boleh nak beli rumah.
Siapa cakap? So I think that's an opinion. Sebab I think you tak cukup ilmu lagi kot, right? So betul. But there are people who boleh beli 5 atau 6 property terus. Tak payah beli tahun depan, tahun ni boleh beli 6 biji, boleh dapat loan 100% untuk semua. Right? So I would say it's not 100% correct, it's probably 50% je betul. And if you have a little bit more knowledge, you'll be able to go and do all that. So the question whether you can beli or not rumah every year tu is that Dazil boleh. But you have to bear in mind lah, you ada 70% loan tu lepas beli rumah. Right, so you learn a little bit more, you understand tips and tricks, you can even own 10 property at 100% loan. But yang tu, ilmu pelaburan tu kena tinggi sikit. Last question. Hey, you are paying me extra, right, boss?
I will keep that in mind.
He better buy your property.
Please don't start market. Okay, back to the friends. Actually, you can go for his class.
Oh. Even though you haven't attended, but you're power.
Okay, because from the Facebook record, okay, I know Chef Faisal try to help people to overcome their problems. Those 30%, everything, he cannot buy more. He have one-to-one session. I know that. But I'm still not your student, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay, not yet.
Okay, this question will credit back to this developer. Thank you for inviting you to come here. Okay, this project, regarding this project, you always say that you will look for the booster for this project. So, can you share the booster about this project around? Then also, another question is, the rumah whip of the regulation of the rumah whip, will it change between these 5 years? Because as I know that last time is to the household income is not more than 10K.
Mm.
But recently they try to upgrade it to 15K.
Mm.
The 10 years cannot be the unit cannot be sell it out.
Mm.
But I think the new regulation is around 5 years they can do some arrangement on that, right?
I think that's prima.
That's prima or not rumah with.
So far, no. Right? So, second question I answer first. Will it change? Of course, there's a possibility. New government, new rules, new sheriff in town. So, I don't know what they're going to do. So, I think the budget at the end of next month, I heard it's going to be 2nd of November, will tell us a lot about the direction of the new government as far as public housing is concerned. Right? Point number one. To answer your question just now, what was the first question again? Booster. Okay, now I make it a point to not comment on specific developments simply because whether I buy 10 or I don't buy at all, I don't give any favorable or bad review on the developer. There are developments that I speak in and I bought 4 or 5 units. I never say anything good about the development because I do not want to influence the people who come here to learn. What I shared just now was general practice, what I've been following for the last 13 years, and these practices have made me money. So you have to then go and see whether any development that matches this criteria is up to your liking. But what I can share is that for Kepong in general, what's going to happen? Is that fair?
Yes.
For booster, one of you? I think first and foremost, if you look at it for Kepong, I see 2 major boosters. Now one is the traffic in Kepong good or not? So
Very good.
So in a way, all thriving area will have one major problem: bad traffic. Because the only place where people don't want to stay don't have bad traffic. So you don't want bad traffic, Lembah bring in fantastic traffic. Alright? So point number one. So is the government doing anything to alleviate, that situation? So that's basically dupe, right? So dupe accessibility will basically disperse a lot of the traffic. So for example, PJ used to be jammed a lot, now they change it to one single traffic lane. So now it's very pleasant, right? That's point number one. Point number two, of course, MRT2. Yeah, so MRT2 I think is a game changer because, let's give an example today. If you work in KLCC and you stay here, how long will it take you to go to work every morning?
1 hour. 1 hour plus.
1 hour,
Yes.
right? On average, unlucky, bad raining, smart tunnel tutup, 2 hours off. Got it? But once you have MRT, and MRT, I think the Kepong station to KLCC is actually less than 15 stations. So you're looking at about 30 to 40 minutes. Okay? And my advice to you is that go and check out MRT1 if you have not. Okay? What I discovered is that KTM versus LRT Star versus LRT Putra and versus MRT1 has got very different demographic of people who use that. Okay? I would say almost very few locals, unless those who are really under B40 income, use KTM. They rather drive car, right? LRT Star not so bad, but LRT Star punya level of users are not the same as Putra. Putra are more expensive. That's why real estate along Putra, because connectivity to KL Central and KLCC is also higher, right? If you notice rental and property price along Putra and Star, there's a significant premium one. Putra is more expensive. And MRT to me is the shocker because I've seen people who owns 5 Series BMW in Kota Damansara. As of today, despite being a really car lover, owns multiple cars and a BMW 5 Series, don't mind taking MRT to work anymore. Right? So MRT, if you ask me, is a little bit of a game changer, and that's why I like it. I like to buy nearby MRT because I see LRT now property values around 600,000, 700,000 is quite common. So you can buy MRT at 500,000, no brainer. But why I did not realize was that the feel of people taking MRT versus LRT is very different. So if you've been to UK, there are different train lines. The older one not so pleasant. The newer ones are quite nice to be in one. Right, so that's what MRT brings to the table. So unless you have sat in the KTM versus the LRT and then versus MRT, you won't be able to tell the difference. But for those who have, you will be able to see that. There will be more people, professionals, using MRT to go to work. Because connectivity to working hotspots is just far greater. So to me, those two is enough. And then of course, you've got a bunch of new malls coming up and all that. Those not big of a game changer because it's not like Kepung doesn't have any more enough malls as of today. Already got more coming up only. Right? So, yeah. That would be my thought. Yeah. So guys, thank you very much. I hope you learned plenty from today. And can we give the developer Tribert a big round of applause for organizing this learning session? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Faisal. Okay, before we end the session, we're going to have a short introduction about this project, and then we'll ask questions after. Okay, we have 3 lucky draw gifts, the questions, each worth about 250 ringgit. It'll be given after the short presentation is done by our staff here, Mr. Kazrin. He'll give you a short brief on this project. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My speech will be less than 2 minutes, okay? No TV, nothing, okay? So I'll share with you straight what is the key point for our project called Enesta in Kepung. Number 1 is that we are only 258 units, okay? We will be the lowest density in Kepung right now. Secondly, we have the train station connected to us and it's under construction. You'll be just across our road, about 80 meters. And the last key point I'd like to share is that at this current weekend, the developer, we are willing to give out an additional package to you. Whoever that gets to book the first 8 units this weekend, you get to enjoy 1% down payment and nothing until completion. I repeat again, nothing until completion. So I think one gentleman here brought up the issue that if you buy a house now, how can he buy a house for the next 3 years, right? Okay, we have addressed that concern. So kalau 1% booking, down payment, tak bayar apa-apa until completion. Okay? That's all from me. If you have any questions, speak to my sales staff. They are just outside and they will help you. Thank you.
Okay, I'll backtrack a bit to the questions on the rumor. They say 10 years sell how much the price, right? Actually, the ruling government actually has said that you cannot sell above a certain price is because it's still a rumor week no matter what. So it's not going to affect the private part of the project. So that's what I already said before, is they will set a benchmark price, but they haven't set yet because no rumor week has reached 10 years and to be sold. Okay, so the 3 questions that I'm going to ask will be very basic. So who can answer me? This Enesta Kepung project is located where? Either the street name or the location. If anyone knows the answer, can just raise their hand. We'll give you the mic and answer.
Street name Segambut Bypass.
Yeah, Pintasan Segambut. Okay, that's the side road, then the main road Jalan Kepung. Okay, thank you, sir. So later, see this gentleman over here. Okay, another one, simple one. How many units are there?
256.
Pardon?
256.
No.
I talk too fast just now lah.
This lady.
258.
Okay, yeah, it's 258 units. Okay, last one. What show unit type is this that we are showing right now? Okay, let me pass the guy because the guy has been raising hands a lot of times.
Okay.
Just let him have a go.
There you go.
Type 3.
No,
Similar, but
almost there.
almost there.
But I think this lady, she knows. Actually, this type is type Miss.
There you go.
Type 3A.
Yes, type 3A. The difference is 3 and 3A is the balcony. So this is actually the balcony. So any further questions on the project or property can ask our sales staff or myself, whether it's Rumawit or even the Kampong itself. You can just talk to us and we will answer your questions. And lunch will be served outside. It's already ready. You guys can enjoy your lunch. Later on, you just come in and see the property itself. So that's all, and thank you for coming. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you. Later can see a gentleman there for the free gift lah. Those three that answer. Thank you.